So I'm here in Tel Aviv, Israel, and you can see the Handmaid tales costumes here behind me. There are a lot of protests happening right here in Tel Aviv, and the Biden administration has been complicit in these, and there's a whole lot more to say about this, but I wanted you to see what's happening right here in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I wanted to give you that video just for a little bit of context and share with you what's taken place there. As many of you know, I was in Israel just recently, just got back a couple of days ago, and thankfully, because here, according to this article, the United States Embassy in Jerusalem has told Americans to, quote, leave Israel immediately. It says that the country is descending rapidly into what have some called civil war. Unions have gone on strike. The airports have all shut down. Restaurants, banks, shopping malls have all joined in a national strike against proposed changes to the government that would basically gut the judiciary of Israel. So we look at what's going on, and I think a real easy question to come up with is why? Why is this happening? And I have a little video I can show you that gives you what I believe is at least a part of the reason. Take a look at this. I am in Israel, and this is more of the protests that are taking place here in Israel. And don't let the flags mislead you. This is not a patriotic thing. In fact, let that flag right there tell you what this is all about. Yeah, let me explain to you a little bit about the Israeli government, because if you're an American, you know, it's hard to wrap your mind around even our government alone, but let alone other governments. So Israel has what is called a parliamentary democracy. We do not have a parliamentary democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. So the government's run differently. The way it works in Israel with a parliamentary democracy is you have to get elected as the prime minister, which Benjamin Netanyahu has done. And after you get elected, you need to be able to form a government, which means you need to have a coalition with members of parliament. You have to get the majority of votes in the parliament, and you establish your government. Well, that has not been able to take place over the last couple of years, so they've had 5 elections to get to this point. A couple of them, Benjamin Netanyahu won. A couple of them, he didn't. In this case, Benjamin Netanyahu won the election, and now he has formed a government. He has a coalition within the parliament. Who he has sided with are the vast majority of conservatives. Now, I said in that video, don't let the flags fool you, because here's one thing we have to understand. Left and right, when we talk left and right here in America, it is different than left and right in Israel. We talk about people who are on the right here in America. Typically, people on the right want a strong border, and they love their country. They want a strong military. But when you're in Israel, the vast majority, almost everybody, is wanting a strong border. Almost all of them are patriotic. They love their country. They want a strong border. They want a strong military. Everybody serves in the military. They're proud of their country. And so this isn't, you know, the case that when we look at left and right, it's different in Israel. So in this case, they're flying their flag. They're patriotic in one sense, but what is this about? This is the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu has set up a government where the conservatives are the majority. And so it is the LGBT groups, the people who are basically on what we would call the left as far as the issues that come to mind with social things. You remember the Handmaid's Tale characters there. You saw them walking along. I was looking at this group as they were walking along, and they were kids dressed up in these Handmaid's Tale uniforms. And that's what this is all about. This is a social issue where they want that to be the prevailing way that things are going to go in Israel. You also saw, when I was there driving through Tel Aviv, I saw so many people dressed up. There was these kids dressed up in gay outfits. Here you see the Handmaid's Tale kids, but then there was also the kids dressed up in their gay outfits, and sponsor, showing off their desire for the gay rights there in Israel. Here with the Handmaid's Tale, they're obviously standing up for the right to abort children, and like I said, these ones here, these are all kids. They're teenagers dressed up in Handmaid's Tale costumes, trying to push for abortion rights. So that's what's going on. This is satanic in nature. Of course, we know the LGBT movement there. Like I said, I saw so many young boys dressed up in stuff that obviously is showing off that they're there for the gay rights, draping themselves in the gay rights flag and marching down the street. And I mean, I saw this over and over again when I was there. So when we look at what's taking place in Israel, this has to do with satanic stuff, and this is definitely a social issue. And the sad thing is, it's Joe Biden that has been helping to push for this. And it was a free and fair election, and yet he is pushing to help have these protests against a free and fair election. So the very thing they're decrying with January 6th here in America, they're trying to cause the same thing to happen there in Israel. So it's a shame that this is happening. Joe Biden should be ashamed of himself. His entire administration should be ashamed of themselves. This should not be taking place, and yet it is. It's just another embarrassment for us as Americans.